and that is mucoepidermoid carcinoma. This mucoepidermoid carcinoma has few important points that we need to know before we learn to draw. That is, it is one of the more common malignant salivary gland tumor. It is the most common childhood salivary gland malignancies, and it is another most common salivary gland malignancy after irradiation, that is post irradiation malignancy of the salivary gland. Next point is, it is the most common salivary gland malignancy which occurs intraosseously. Okay, after we learn this, we also have to understand the histogenetic concept of this particular neoplasm, and what are there are two types of cells that give rise to this particular neoplasm, and those are basically the reserve cells in the interlobular and intralobular duct system. Those are the reserve cells in inter and intralobular compartment of the ductal system. Then the other concept is metaplasia of the excretory ductal system. Okay, these are the two concepts for the histogenesis of mucoepidermoid carcinoma. Next is the microscopy. So when we say mucoepidermoid carcinoma, the name itself has the components that we see histopathologically. So that is the one is mucous cell. So this is mucous cell. Then we have another component, that is epidermoid cell. So these are the mucous type of cell. Then there are epidermoid cells or squamoid type of cells, squamous cells. Okay. And the third type of cell that is in between these two are the intermediate type of cells. So the entire neoplasm is formed by the arrangement of these three types of cells in varied proportions, and the arrangement can be in cords, sheets or clusters. So this is the pretty much everything about mucoepidermoid carcinoma. So let's also go to understand each type of cell. How do they look and what are they made up of? So let's start with the mucous cell. So these mucous cells are definitely mucin producing cells, right? And then they are, how are they? They are cuboidal or columnar cells, and they have a vacuolated cytoplasm, and this cytoplasm is music-carmine positive or PAS positive. These cells can be in solid masses or they can form cysts. The mucin which is released later will give rise to inflammatory reaction in the connective tissue stroma. Okay, so let's just see how this mucous cell appears. So later we'll anyway learn all the tumor mass together, but here the mucin producing cell, imagine that this is a ductal system or a glandular portion which has mucin producing cells. Those are the mucous cells. So they are either cuboidal or columnar cells. So we'll just draw few columnar cells, and in between you will also have the goblet cells which are having wider apical portion and narrower basal portions. So in between we have tall columnar or the cuboidal cells, mucous cells, and in between we also have the goblet cells producing the mucin. So you can have either opened up goblets or just closed mucous cells. This is how the mucus producing cells. So now we will draw the nuclei. All the nuclei are generally basally placed away from the luminal area. All the apical portion of these cells are filled with mucus containing vesicles, and those will be generally basophilic, very pale basophilic. They are along with all the cell organelles inside. The mucin takes up basophilic stain, light basophilia. Either you do this if you can, or you can just put small vesicle which are like dots. So this is how you draw mucus secreting cells or the mucus cells in the mucoepidermoid carcinoma. Next group of cells are the intermediate cells. And intermediate cells are smaller cells. They are darker, they are round in shape, they are less well differentiated, and they are either basophilic or amphiphilic. The cytoplasm takes up either basophilic stain or amphiphilic stain. They are maternal type of cell, meaning these cells can either differentiate into mucus cells or epidermoid cells. Okay, and what are these epidermoid cells now? They are, how do they look? They are round, they are polygonal, they have eosinophilic cytoplasm, they form solid masses or solid sheets of cells in the tumor mass, and these cells have intercellular bridges. These cells do show keratinization. Of course, it is a rare quality. And we will just see how they look, how we have to draw them in the tumor mass. So the intermediate cells are, as we said, they are small cells, round cells, dark nuclei. Okay, they are less differentiated, so the nuclei will be larger and darker. So we draw this like this and fill up the cytoplasm with the nucleus. Dark cells. This is probably how the intermediate cell will look. Okay, coming to the epidermoid type of cells. Here they are basically polygonal cells. Sorry, you use Yosin pencil for it. They are polygonal cells, oval or even round shape they can be of. They are all adhering to one another. They may have intercellular bridges. Okay, these are very difficult to draw in the tumor mass when we are drawing the big tumor mass in the circle. So we can just show them here. For you to understand, you should know that they have intercellular bridges and they have eosinophilic cytoplasm, because these are epidermoid cells, squamous type of cells. So they have eosinophilic cytoplasm and the nucleus, a centrally placed nucleus, a small nucleus. Okay, so this is how an epidermoid group of cells will look. Right? These are epidermoid cells, these are intermediate cells, and these are the mucus cells. Now we will be drawing the entire tumor mass with these three types of cells in varying proportions, and we call it as mucoepidermoid carcinoma. Along with that, we will have few variations of other varieties of cells also in the tumor mass, and those are oncocytes and clear cells. And however, based on the proportion of each of these cells in a tumor mass, it's been classified as low grade tumor, intermediate grade tumor, or high grade tumor. When do we say it is low grade tumor? When more of mucus cells, the mucus cells are more, cystic spaces are more. Cystic spaces are more, microcystic spaces are more. In that case, we call it as low grade tumor. In this case, we have less of epidermoid cells and very few intermediate cells. Whereas the intermediate grade, we have quite a few of mucus cells and more of intermediate cells and few of epidermoid cells. And here the cystic component is moderate cystic or mucus component, and more of intermediate cells, and some amount of epidermoid cells as well. High grade, when we call, we will be able to see more of solid sheets of epidermoid cells and less than 20% of mucus component, and we will be seeing lot of cellular atypia, atypical cells. So when we see all these components, we call it as high grade neoplasm. Along with this, all these cellular structures are placed in a stroma, which is a fibrous connective tissue stroma, which is a fibrous stroma. Along with that, we will be seeing focal inflammatory component. Okay, so this is pretty much everything about mucoepidermoid carcinoma that you need to know. Now let's start to draw in a step-by-step manner. Let's start drawing mucoepidermoid carcinoma, for which we need these pencils. We need eosin pencil, we need hematoxylin pencil. Here I have taken 2 hematoxylin pencils. One is very sharp to draw the vesicle kind of a droplets that inside the goblet cells or the mucus cells, and another one is a blunt one, slightly blunt one, to draw the nucleus inside the cells, and another one is a sharpened pencil for labeling, drawing circle, etc. So we should keep everything ready, and then we'll use a cup or a mug or a bangle, whatever you have, to draw a circle, and this circle to one side of the page so that we will be able to label on the other side. So this is the circle that is ready for mucoepidermoid carcinoma. Now we'll start drawing the components in a very simple way. So we will again draw kind of sheets and islands of cells. Later we will be filling up this area with cells. So just whatever way you prefer, you can draw these circles. You need not stick to this pattern alone. So these are the islands, the sheets of cells that we are going to draw now inside, and we can make those microcystic spaces inside the islands like this, around which we will be drawing the cells, small, large. We will in this diagram try to show all the 3 types of cells, just so you know and you remember in the theory part. Okay, so this will be another cystic space and maybe smaller cystic areas. This area will leave it solid with the solid mass of cells. Okay, so now we will start filling up these cells with the first type of cell that to draw, easier to draw, is the epidermoid cells. Next we will draw the intermediate cells, and then go to draw the mucoid cells, mucus cells. Okay, so we'll draw the round or polygonal epidermoid cells. In these islands, and you can, if you want another mucus producing mucinous area or a cystic space, you can just include that as well. Depends. See, if we have more of microcystic spaces and mucus cells, we call it as low grade mucoepidermoid carcinoma. So you want to draw low grade 1, intermediate grade 1, or the high grade mucoepidermoid carcinoma, it's up to you. But to learn to draw, we will make sure that we have all the 3 types of cells in our tumor mass. So we'll draw in between very small cells here. and then followed by bigger cells. Another area of small cells. When you are drawing the small cells, which are basically the intermediate cells, keep very sharp pencil. Okay, so this island is filled with the epidermoid cells and the intermediate cells and the mucous microcystic spaces, which will be kind of lined by mucous cells. So we'll fill up the other areas too. If you need to sharpen the pencils in between, please do so. In this island, we shall make few mucous cells in between. They have differentiated into mucous cells, so in between we shall make, and then in between we'll make smaller intermediate cells, and then later again epidermoid cells. Similarly, we fill up these islands as well. We can keep a bigger cystic space with the mucous cells lining them, and the rest of it will be mucus producing cells, epidermoid cells, goblet cells. Basically, these are the cells which have a shape of a goblet. I said that is basically a wine glass. You must have seen a wine glass, right? So, similar shaped cell, wider mouth and a narrow stem, a cell with an appearance like this. Okay, so this kind of an appearance you must have seen, right? Cells, so this is a goblet, a wine glass ready. Similar appearing cells, we call them as nucleus in the goblet epidermoid cells. And these either you can also draw the nucleus, or you can fill the cytoplasm with cells. Using pencil, that is eosinophilic cytoplasm, so we can just and then draw the nucleus. Just that will be better cells. Because similarly once we draw the nucleus and then do the cytoplasm, the nucleus gets faded away. Now we will try to do the nucleus for all these cells. That is, the cell has a nucleus that is basally placed, because the apical area is filled with. Take care to fill all the
secretory component,
cytoplasm.
that is the mucin vesicles. Then a slightly superficial area has mitochondria and all the other cellular organelles. So this is how we will draw the nucleus.
With time you'll get
They are
good
basally
practice
placed here
and you
in
will
these
be able to
mucin
do it
cells.
much faster.
We can just push the
At
cell
this
to
point
one
it may seem
side
very
of
tedious
the
procedure to
cytoplasm,
draw a histopathology diagram,
proving that there is mucin
but if you do it with
everywhere
interest,
else.
I'm sure it will not be that difficult. Now you draw the nucleus, small one, for the epidermoid cells. So this is how we see the nucleus,
And here nucleus pushed to one end.
okay. Just take care that you fill the nucleus everywhere. Now
We do the granularity, that is the slightly basophilic feeling to the mucus
and when
cells.
it comes to
Either you do
intermediate
this
cells,
or you can
this
even do
given,
slight shading with the blue
darker
pencil, very
so
very
you can
light
just
blue
since the
shading.
cytoplasm is very less,
You can do.
the nucleus it will be filled with more of.
I'll show both ways of
Nuclear material.
filling this. Mucin takes up a
Just
pale blue
focus
stain
a
of the
little closer
hematocylin.
for you to see better.
And the content of the
hematoxyl pencil
mucin
needs
is
sharpening,
released
please
into the
take care and
lumen,
do it too.
which will also be slightly bluish.
So we'll just shade this area. In that case you can take a slightly a blunt pencil to shade the area to show that there is mucin release inside the lumen. Here we had taken care to draw few more intermediate cells. So we'll sometimes the mucinous cells may open up and there may be mucin spilled, to which you may have a inflammatory reaction. Now we are pretty much done with the tumor masses, the cells, all the three types of cells and their arrangement. Now we will do a stroma,
Just the fibrous connective tissue stroma, so which is ground substance which is pink, so you can do that, and then draw few fibers. These are malignancies, so you must remember that they definitely have they are not encapsulated, and definitely they will show some invasion, perineural or perivascular invasion. So that is the reason I have left this portion empty, just like how I did it in adenoid cystic carcinoma. So we can fill that area as well with. So this time we will just do.
Now we are
part
done
of
with
blood
the
vessel, small blood vessel, and filling
course,
up the
chest
islands. You may
with
not
the
see in
epidermoid
one
cells.
island, one
Few
area
more
of the
spaces
tumor
we
mass,
have, we can just
everything, that
fill them with
perineural and perivascular
just
invasion
remember
you may
that,
see as
they had
also.
intercellular
But
bridges
here,
as well,
just
and
for a
that you
diagrammatic
have drawn those
presentation,
too.
I am doing
And
the
cytoplasm is
invasion.
and you have drawn few intermediate cells. Now we have to draw the cystic spaces lined by mucus cells. So as I had shown you before, we will be drawing the mucus cells. The few of them are goblet cells, and few of them are the columnar or cuboidal cells, and in between a little bigger goblet cell. Rest everything is pink. Few fibers here and there, and fibroblasts too. And cells. This is kind of a mucinous area. Similarly, we will draw few more.
I'll put the nucleus.
Islands. The
cells that are invading the nerve bundles and also the nerve to the nerve fibers as well. It can be border in between. You can draw goblet cells. You know why they are called as goblet cells, right? They are in the shape of a goblet. This is endothelial cell, that is blood vessel wall. So I'll put the endothelial cells, the nucleus, to show that they are endothelial cells. Like this. Now I'll make few fibroblasts. And also don't forget to make few inflammatory cells to show that in the stroma you have inflammatory component to the released mucin, inflammatory reaction to the released mucin. Okay, so focal areas of inflammation you will be seeing. This kind of completes the diagram of mucoepidermoid carcinoma. Now we will start labeling the diagram. This is the diagram of mucoepidermoid carcinoma. And what are all the structures that we have that we need to label? We need to label mucus cells, we need to label epidermoid cells, we need to label intermediate cells, and we label the microcystic or cystic spaces. Then we label the mucinous material inside the lumen, mucinous material or secretion inside the lumen, and to that mucinous material we label the inflammatory reaction. So inflammatory cell infiltration. Then last but not the least, perineural invasion, perivascular invasion. This completes labeling of the mucoepidermoid carcinoma. I will show the closer look of the same. You can see that all the parts have been labeled, and cells at a closer look will appear like this. The arrangement of the cells, all the three types of the cells, you should be able to appreciate. Hope this diagram explanation and drawing was clear to all of you. Please feel free to give your comments. I'll be back with another diagram soon. See you all. Bye.